Key to Keys, it's an experience. It's a bike ride, fun-packed week into 8 days.
It's funny when I first try to talk about it, you have to say it's a bike ride. Because people got to know, you got to get on your bike and you're going to ride your bike and you're going to start up in Baltimore on Key Highway and you're going to ride your bike down to Key West, and that sounds really epic and a big deal, but the biggest thing that I've learned to try to tell people is it really has nothing to do with your bike. And that usually makes people take a step backwards and go, well, I really like riding my bike, and now it's not a bike ride, what do you mean?
It's bizarre, you leave Baltimore on day one, and you're like, okay, great, I'm gonna go, spend a week on this trip with people I've never met before. And then you spend 7 days having meals with these people, riding with these people, in the vehicles with these people, laughing, crying. They become friends, they become family, they become support. It's really, really hard to describe how things happen.
And most of the people, when you talk to them, will say, the biking was part of it, but what I remember are the people, are the stories, are the conversations, are the lunch stops, are the events, are the cancer centers. Those are the things that you take away from it, and you soon realize it's like we get on our bikes and pedal every day, but that's not really what we talk about.
This trip really doesn't have any defining type of people. Through their own diagnosis, through a diagnosis of a loved one, whether it be a parent, a sibling, a grandparent, a child, their child. It is for anybody that has had to endure a cancer diagnosis.
I was training one of my clients, and she mentioned that her cousin had triple-negative breast cancer, and I was like, oh my gosh, my mom had the same thing. One of the things when I lost her, she had such a bright light, and when I lost her, I thought I wouldn't see that again. And it's always really reassuring and kind of renews your faith in everything when you find that in other people. And the whole group had it, every single person on that trip. Can't really describe it, but just had that selfless love for life and for other people that it's not very common, and my mom had it, and I got used to it. And then when that was taken away, it was really hard to find it again. And so, being surrounded by that for 8 days can't really describe it or thank the organization enough for it, because again, exactly what I needed.
Dedication Circle is like nothing you could have ever experienced. And you're hearing the pain in other people's voices when they're talking about their loved one and their story with cancer. And you sit there and you take it all in. And when you finally open up and you're telling people about your story, you can tell, just look at the faces around that circle, and it's genuine. They're there, they're in the moment with you, and they're lending that support. And it's at a different level than what you would get in day-to-day activity. I mean, it's a bond. And I even said this on the trip. You come together as 35 strangers, and you end the trip as a family of 35 people. And that's truly what happens. And I think that Dedication Circle goes a long way to creating that bond.
Cancer changes lives!
It was the day of the 100-mile bike ride from Jacksonville to Daytona. It was a great day on so many levels. Met a lot of amazing people, connected more with the team. But when we finished and we got in the car, and on my team that day was Jim Mitchell, texted his wife Kimberly to let Kimberly know that he was okay and had finished his 100 miles. And she asked him, do you know what today is? I believe it was a year from his last treatment. It was a momentous occasion for him, and to be with him and to share that moment with him that not only did he fight cancer and he beat cancer, but he just rode his bike 100 miles.
Riding over 7 Mile Bridge was just amazing. I was like bawling my eyes out, like riding up this bridge and just this amazingly beautiful vista. Patty was leading. She was pulling, she was in front. And she goes, okay, I'm gonna drop back. And I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm ready. Because I was kind of getting teary. I was really kind of crying at that time and having a hard time really just keeping staying on her wheel, but now I gotta pull. There were times when during the week we relied on someone else to kind of get us through an emotional time, and then you take over, and then you get somebody else through an emotional time. So that was kind of a metaphor for that whole week, that particular time when Patty said, okay, I'm gonna drop off, you take it. And I took it for, I guess half the bridge, or more than half the bridge over.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. Get down on it, come on and get down on it. You really want it, get down on it. You got a feeling, get down on it, get down on it, get down on it. Go ahead, be gone with it. Come to the back. Go ahead, be gone with it. VIP. Go ahead, be gone with it. Drinks on me. Go ahead, be gone with it. Working with. Go ahead, be gone with it. Look at those hips. Go ahead, be gone with it. 'Cause I'm gonna give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a rolling.
I've crossed many a finish line in a triathlon or a race, or other kinds of races. And I mean, the energy's high in those things, but nothing like that. Nothing like that kind of just swell of happiness and joy that came over people as the team came in and finished up. It was pretty awesome. The journey continues to be a journey. It doesn't really end in your heart. It doesn't.